Go!
If it is, it's certainly wonderful service.
Is Tony here, Alice?
Yes, he is. Come in, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Forgive my intruding. Tony, I want you to come home with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Bye, Tony.
I need hardly say that this is as painful to Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is to you people. I am sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes, but in a way, no. Now, I'm not the kind of person that tries to run other people's lives, Mr. Kirby. The fact is, I don't think these two young people have got as much sense as, say, you and I have.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
You want me to do that for you, Alice? No, thanks, Mother.
You've got quite a while before the train goes, Alice.
Will you send a cab to 761 Claremont? Right away, please. That's right. Thank you.
Alice!
Father.
Are you ready, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, I suppose after last night you think this family is kind of crazy.
No, I would not say that. Although I'm not accustomed to just going out to dinner and spending the night in jail.
Well, you've got to remember, Mr. Kirby, you came on the wrong night. Now tonight, I bet you, nothing will happen at all. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No, Tony, I know exactly what your father means, and he's right.
No, he's not, Alice.
Alice, you're in love with this boy, and you're not marrying him because we're the kind of people we are.
Grandpa, it's just...
I know you think the two families wouldn't get along. Well, maybe they wouldn't. Who's to say they're right and we're wrong?
I didn't say that, Grandpa. I only feel as if...
Well, what I feel is that Tony is too nice of a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes, mixed up and unhappy, the way you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff. I am a very happy man.
Are you now?
Certainly I am.
I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, sir. You get it because most of your time is spent doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Yes, you do. You said last night that at the end of a week in Wall Street you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep on? Why, that's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Well, why not? You got all the money you need. You can't take it with you.
That's a very easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff. But I've spent my entire life building up my business.
And what's it got you? Same kind of mail every morning, same kind of deals, same kind of meetings, same dinners at night, same indigestion. Where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? You must have wanted more than that when you started out. We haven't got too much time, you know. Any of us.
What do you expect me to do? Live the way you do? Do nothing?
Well, I have a lot of fun. Time enough for everything. Read, talk, visit the zoo now and then, practice my darts. Even have time to notice when spring comes around. Don't see anybody I don't want to. Don't have 6 hours of things I have to do every day before I get 1 hour to do what I like in. And I haven't taken a bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. What's the matter with all that?
The matter with that? Suppose we all did. A fine world we'd have, everybody going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who would do the work?
There's always people that like to work. You can't stop them. Inventions, and they fly the ocean. There are always people to go down to Wall Street, too, because they like it. From what I've seen of you, I don't think you're one of them. I think you're missing something.
I'm not aware of missing anything.
I wasn't either till I quit. I used to get down to that office 9 o'clock sharp, no matter how I felt. Lay awake nights for fear I wouldn't get that contract. Used to worry about the world, too. Got all worked up about whether Cleveland or Blaine was going to be elected president. Seemed awfully important at the time, but who cares now? What I'm trying to say, Mr. Kirby, is I've had 35 years that nobody can take away from me, no matter what they do to the world. See?
Yes, I do see. And it's a very dangerous philosophy, Mr. Vanderhoff. It's un-American. And it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony to come under its influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
The matter with it? Why, it's downright communism. That's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
I most certainly did. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so because there was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Why? Why, don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, you did. I came across those letters you wrote to grandfather. Do you remember those?
No. How dared you read those letters? How
Why?
dared you?
Why, isn't that wonderful? Did you wear tights, Mr. Kirby?
Certainly not. The whole thing is absurd. I was 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Tony!
And at 21 you ran away from the business because he ran away from home because grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well, well, well.
I may have had silly notions in my youth, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I went into the business and forgot about them.
Not altogether, Father. There's still a saxophone in the back of your clothes closet.
There is, huh?
It's quite enough, Tony. We'll discuss this.
No, I want to talk about it now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back into that office again. I've always hated it, and I'm not going on with it. And I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
Tony! Well, for heavens!
Because I wanted to wake you up. I wanted you to see a real family, as they really were. A family that loved and understood each other. You don't understand me. You've never had time. Well, I'm not going to make your mistake. I'm clearing out.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I'm not going to be pushed into business just because I'm your son. I'm getting out while there's still time.
But Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer, but at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
They know.
That must be the cab.
Ask him to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa.
Do you mind, Alice? You know, Mr. Kirby, Tony here is going through just what you and I did when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same thing to your father 25 years ago. We all did it. And we were right. How many of us would be willing to settle when we're young for what we eventually get? All those plans we made, what happens to them? It's only a handful of the lucky ones that can look back and see that they even came close. So before they clean out that closet, Mr. Kirby, I think I'd get in a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the blitzes, how many will that be for dinner?
Your Highness, may I present Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How's that?
How do you do? But before I make the blitzes, how many will that be for dinner?
Oh, I made quite a stack of them, Your Highness. You can't ever tell.
Good! The Tsar always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the blitzes.
Who did you say that was, Mr. Vanderhoff?
Oh, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
And speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Oh, please do, Mr. Kirby. We've got all that stuff we were going to have last night. I need tonight.
Looks like a pretty good dinner, Mr. Kirby. And it'll kind of give us a chance to get acquainted. Why not stay?
How about it, Father? Are we staying for dinner?
Why, if you care to, Tony, I'd like to very much.
Now, if Alice will stand away that cab, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How about it, Alice? Going to be a nice crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
I'm staying, Alice. The families ought to get to know each other, don't you think?
Mr. Kirby? Tony? Oh, Tony?
Darn.
Grandpa, you're wonderful.
I've been telling you that for years.
Grandpa, here's a letter for you. It was in the icebox.
Yeah. Oh, the government again.
How do you do, Mr. Kirby?
How do you do?
Won't you step into the office after Miss Sycamore? I'd like to do a little dictating.
I better tell that cat.
Well, well, well.
So what is it, Grandpa?
It says here the United States government apologizes. I don't owe them a nickel. It seems I died 8 years ago.
Why, what do you mean, Grandpa?
Remember Charlie, the milkman, buried under my name?
Yes.
Well, I just told them they made a mistake and I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr. So they're very sorry, and I may even get a refund.
Like, Grandpa, you're an old crook.
Sure.
Pardon me, how did you say you escaped the income tax, Mr. Vanderhoff?
Tonight, my friends, you are all going to eat.
Hello there.
How do you do?
Fine, fine, glad to see you.
What's wrong with you?
He's relaxing. That's right, play something, Ed.
Ding 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 ding.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You can sit down.
Come on, everybody. Dinner. Come on, Mr. Kirby.
Yes, yes, I'm coming.
Essie, stop dancing and come to dinner.
Russia when they sit down to dinner.
Quiet, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, here we are again. I want to say thanks once more for everything that you've done for us. Things seem to be going along fine. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks as though they're going to be very happy together. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePitter's fault, not yours. We've all got our health, and as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you.
Grandpa, I have heard from my friend in Siberia.
Mr. Kirby, do you like
He
roast
has
goose?
escaped
We
again.
have roast goose for
It's
dinner.
like it for me.
favorite dish.
Mr. Kirby, I'm gonna dance for you later. I've got a new mazurka.
I've written some special music for it. Tell me, Mr. Kirby, what do you think of the security?
Mr. Seton, we've got to stop thinking about next year's fireworks.
Well, here goes the Adirondacks.
It's a very good thing, too.
Ding dong. Donald comes over. Donald, okay. You're there. Yay, look who's here. Hey, come on over.
Let's go.